Hola, Madrid. This is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. We saw this coming, we saw this coming way back last March, last April, around the time we were flying. We were very keen to remind people about the drawbacks of relying on two people to carry us, and it would eventually come back to bite us. And it is here. It is well and truly here. Another lethargic performance. Honestly, I was telling the boys, I wish I didn't have to do this, but this is my club. We can't really turn away um, from facing this, because this is a sure high profile low in our season, which started off so brightly. And if this continues, like I have been saying for the past 2-3 weeks, if this continues, our season is a wrap. Even the Champions League, I don't know how we can just switch it on and switch it off as we wish. Last year we had a little more consistency. I don't think so. We have anywhere near that amount of consistency this season. Yeah, man. I'm seething again. Honestly, I thought last Thursday was the worst. Today wasn't much better. On that note, welcome back again. Hola, Madrid. This is welcome back again. Like always, some housekeeping to do, which I don't really do. But if you like what we do smash the like button, and yeah, man, tell a friend to tell a friend, spread the thing. And we're also on the road to 1K. If you're new here, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and also the notification icon, notification bell on, so that you are aware whenever we schedule a live right away. Yeah, man, we need to actually get into the comments first, because this is a great one from Dennis the Great. Nice to see you again, bro. He says, I'm so angry we can't blame the refs, but we had chances to finish the game off. I better see a response against Espanyol. Liverpool just put 7 past United, and we have to be ready for that game against Liverpool. Yes, it's looking peak. I'm telling you, the mood in both the camps have flipped. I've no idea how that can change in a matter of weeks, but it well and truly has flipped. I see the spark in the Liverpool players' eyes, because I saw the second half of the United Liverpool game, and Liverpool were cooking, and not just cooking, but cooking with some sort of arrogance. Obviously they were at Anfield, which we made a joke out of, but they look like a far more composed team than us on paper at this moment in time. And that is something that I thought I would never be saying this season. And honestly, it is just shocking. Dennis the Great again says, facts, this is Real Madrid. We cannot accept lethargic performances. Well, let me tell you something, Dennis. when players game after game come out and tell you that we played a good game, I think the players either agree upon something in the dressing room, like a template which they prepare to come out and later say to the press to actually, maintain some calm about the situation. Like that might be the case, but for us fans who are looking for some words of encouragement, looking for some words of self-reflection, some retrospection, what we get is stuff like what Lucas Vazquez said just a few minutes ago. He said we played very well. You guys got to trust in us. We'll turn this around. But it's not looking like that at this moment in time. I think when see, I've always mentioned that I'm not a tactical guru. I can't dive into tactics. I'm not a tactics guy. Like I would rather prefer my eyes do the talking, right? Like when we see the performances on the pitch, it never looks like we are 9 points adrift off the top of the La Liga, man. Like I don't understand why there is no urgency, why there is no cutting edge to our plays. Like it is baffling, honestly. It is so baffling. Like one man, when Benzema is looking a little rusty, that's it. It's done. Like we can't create, we can't attack, we can't like score. We haven't scored in 180 minutes now. Tonight we looked a better attacking outlet. Like we had better attacking outlets tonight. But do you think like we really tested Bravo? Because I didn't. I honestly didn't. Over to you, Yadu. Like honestly, man. Like I don't want to go on this rant. Like because like Doris was telling me and Javier was telling me last week that they were pretty surprised by my demeanor, which was like very fucking angry. And honestly, like this team affects me a lot. Like I don't want to let that be the case, but it does every time. Like even the highs, even the lows to the lows, like it always comes back to affect my mental health. Like it doesn't let me sleep well at night, and I'm not gonna sleep well at night tonight either. Like Yadu, can you break this down, man? Like, did you see this coming? Because I saw it coming on Thursday, and people were calling us out for saying that, oh, it's just one game, we have a second leg left. And even weeks before, when we had very poor performances against Villarreal, Sociedad 0-0, and all of that, like I was telling people that there were clear signs that this team doesn't look at it.
Yeah, this has been coming for some time now. I mean, that part is pretty obvious. At least for a month now, we've been looking on the back foot. We have been chasing, and it's actually been. I think Farouk said it once. It's been some moments that just got us out of some games just unscathed. I'm actually surprised that we didn't drop all 3 points today because it was looking quite likely. It was looking very peak. The defense is a ghost of what it should be. It's a makeshift defense, that's true. Everybody knows it. But still, it shouldn't be that a team like Real Madrid, has to depend on a makeshift defense like this far into the season. You know what I mean? It doesn't look as if we're prepared for a couple of key players to get injured. We don't have the depth. Even if we do have the depth, we don't use the depth. We don't call up Castilla players enough. We don't use the other people that we have. We don't.
Rodrigo just suffered a knock a couple of weeks back. He's straight back in starting,
Yeah,
So
we don't have options, man. We don't have
and he looked like the best player on the pitch for me, at least.
Yeah,
for large
parts of the game. Parts of the game, yeah, we saw a couple of good sparks. I mean, well, I can't even speak. I'm just baffled at the quality that has been on display today. For the first, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes, it just looked like Vinicius is the only one who had any idea of what to do in the game, which is absolutely just it's not the way. It's just not the way forward. Dennis the Great says Thibaut saved our asses again, which I completely agree, man. But then again, I don't know if I should say this, but I kind of expected Thibaut to make a couple of mistakes, just based on the state has that he's been in, and the pitch looks slippery as hell. It was also
I don't know if it's
big point
about the
of
pitch. We slip
concern.
everywhere. We slipped in our own
Yeah,
turf. We slipped on Anfield, right? At Anfield, we slipped like at the Benito Villamarin. Like I don't understand like why our players can't stay upright. Like, what is going on? What is happening to all these people, man? Like, they
It's
looked so sharp last season. It's a far
yeah,
cry.
it's
It
wet
is a
and
very far
cold
cry.
winter in Spain, and Villamarin was no exception. I mean, people were skipping all over the place. We had a couple of falls. We had a lot of fouls as well, which we'll get to in a minute. But that's true. I mean, the team doesn't look like it. They want this as much. I only saw a lot of output in the last 20 minutes, which is just mad because it's like this team has been
Yeah, like all of a
used to
sudden,
delivering.
if you
Yeah.
noticed, yeah, all of a sudden in the last 20 minutes, Vinicius doesn't want to go to the ground, right? He doesn't want
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
mourn as much.
Yep.
Like all of a sudden, there's pressure. Like even
hmm
then, in the injury time, like yes, Bravo does a little shithousery there. You know, like he's like either he threw the ball away or wasn't willing to give the ball back for the
Yeah,
corner.
that's you
What does
expect
sensible
that, right? Yeah, you expect
what
that.
the sensible people do? You walk away. You say, okay, take your time, right? The ref would add to it. Just have belief. Like, why would you start a fight right there and then? I don't understand. I don't understand Vinicius' demeanor, man. Like, I've been telling everybody about this for weeks. I just don't get it. I honestly don't get why he gets so rattled. He is the most easily rattled player in the world.
Yeah,
I'm
within good
telling you,
reason
he
though. Within good reason. At least from what I saw today, I can't be that angry at Vinny because I mean, I think he got like 7 or 8 fouls drawn on him. So that's like one foul every 12 minutes. And that's fouls that were given. He's been fouled more times. So the stats only count the fouls that were given. So where the whistle has been blown. He's been fouled
I get it. I
far too
get
many
it.
times. Yeah.
There is too much emphasis on Vinicius. I totally understand. Like he is our main outlet. Like we have a makeshift right hand side and whatnot. But I'm just talking from purely an attitude perspective where it is seeping into all of our players, man. Like even Rodrigo, I mentioned in the chat, like I was lauding Rodrigo for having a much more calmer, composed head this other week. But you know, like the way he kicked the ball off and then received a yellow for absolutely nothing. Nothing, man. Referees are gonna be bricks, right? Like we gotta go around them. We gotta navigate that part of the game as well. All the other teams, all the rest of the 19 teams do just the same things. Do just the same things, man. Like, yeah, sometimes some decisions might enrage you, but it can't go on from the first minute to the 90th. It starts seeping into the general mentality of the team. I'm telling you, we lack leaders. Fucking stitch up Alaba and put him back on the pitch, man. Like honestly, like yeah, Rudiger. Like I wouldn't say Rudiger had a very bad game. Rudiger has been improving, has been on the rise for a bit now. Like I'm okay, but some of the decisions he does, like it kind of baffles me. But it is what it is. There is Militao, which I think is the best centre back in Spain, you know, alongside Araujo. Like he never gets anything wrong. But I'm telling you, all these players account for nothing if our mentality is so fragile, man. It's so fragile. We are supposed to be the mentality monsters. I don't know why we get pulled into brawls like this. Anyways, let me
when
get
it's
into
when it's when
some
it's
more
when
comments.
now before that, when it's day in and
Go on.
day out, when it's La Liga, it's a completely different case. When we come up against teams have that park the bus, that have 6 players behind the goal line, always in the box, always around our players. For example, anytime we got the ball today, even Benzema, even Vini, even Rodrigo had 3 players around them, and their positioning was fantastic. And this is something that we expect to see in the La Liga. We can't play those simple one-touch passes that just make space enough. We played it time and time again. We couldn't play it today, and whenever we can't play it, which has been happening a lot this season, we've ended up in trouble. We've ended up in games without goals, games where we have draughts of creative output, and that's exactly what happened today. It's fucking frustrating to see, but it will keep happening as long as we try to play that one single style. There's just one. It used to be cross and inshallah. We got rid of that. Now it's just one tap passing and then try to shoot from whoever could. And it just didn't happen. Nobody wanted to shoot. They just wanted to keep it passing inside the box, and it just
Uh,
didn't work out. It just didn't work out. Yeah,
I completely agree.
now you can read the comments. Oh,
I
I just
completely
had
agree.
to
Like
say it. Yeah.
no, I completely agree. I actually had to also add in, I don't know why Benzema takes a touch, passes it back, receives the ball, turns,
Yeah.
passes it back. He does, his body language doesn't show any initiative. You could see that he was so fucking devoid of confidence that he didn't attempt an outrageous shot until when the time was to force the issue, which was like the 90th minute. Like he blasts into Rosette. Like this is so uncharacteristic of Benzema. Like a man of his composure, like on the pitch, like where he nothing phases him. Like that used to be the Benzema, man. Like I don't understand. Like what Javier said in the group chat earlier, like speaks volumes. He said this is kind of like the Mourinho Benzema, where he's okay, but not exactly the Benzema we saw from 2018 to 2022. I don't know what's going on.
His
Is it just the
confidence has
injury?
taken a big shot. I mean, the stuff that he's doing on social media even speaks volumes for itself. Just that he needs to back himself, but through performances and not by the ego stuff. I mean, we keep saying this. We know this to be true. I mean, he's our captain, man. What the fuck is he doing?
I don't understand. Let's go through some of the comments quickly, Yadu.
Yeah.
Ricardo Bingling, he says, can't believe we drew this game. It's like every week we continue to play worse and worse. Cruz and Vazquez shouldn't be anywhere near the team. See, Cruz, I've been a huge critic of him. Like I don't know how he manages to actually pull something out of the hat when the Champions League anthem plays. Like he has this ability to actually turn up in big games. But it has been a constant theme with Cruz where he blows hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. Like he is not the Cruz which we had the pleasure of witnessing maybe like 3-4 years ago. He has fallen off a cliff, man. Like even the things that he used to be so excellent at, which is clear distribution of the ball, like instant, intuitive distribution of the ball, even that has taken a hit. His one perfect ball that I saw in the entire 90 minutes was that lob through ball to Vinicius, if you remember, Yadu, which when he tried to shoot first time, which was a brilliant attempt. Like I like the
best
intent
attempt
on the shot.
of the night. The best attempt of the night.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it
there's
was
just no competition.
like on Bravo's near post, if I recall, and
Exactly.
but that was Cruz, man. That was Cruz. I don't see often that kind of balls being pinged anymore. Like I don't understand. Is it irregularity that is affecting Cruz? Is it age catching up to him? Like I've always doubted. Like I honestly think Cruz needs to have a reality check. The squad needs to have a reality check. Like some people were saying, if Modric was available tonight, we would be far better. Like I agree. Like he would provide us with a different facet in actually breaking the lines. But our front three, like when they
There's
click,
also
they
there's
yeah.
also, I mean, I have to disagree there. I mean, if Modric was available, oh yeah, maybe yes, there would have been a creative outlet
From the
because
bench, like he would have added something.
oh yeah,
But
definitely. I mean, through the subs, I mean, the subs did make a definite impact. But then I think Cruz was forced to play pivot. I mean, he was the center point for the attack. He was distributing the balls, which kind of affected Fede Valverde in the way that he operated. He didn't have the freedom to operate, at least from what I saw, all the way up until the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes saw Fede Valverde's output the way that we expect him to. He covered for the right hand side much more than everything else.
instance of play where Fede collects the ball from our own box, like
Exactly,
sprints all the way, like combines with Carvajal, I guess. Not Carvajal, I think he combines with Militao or something, and then he runs all the way into their box and then passes it to Carvajal. Like those kind of runs, like I totally understand like why someone like Cruz kind of hinders that aspect, but I'm just wondering, like all that hard work, and then if we had someone more lethal, if we had a much more fleshed out attacking scenario, like on the pitch tactically, we would be burying those chances because I can't understand like how Rodrigo completely mishits the ball. Like it was such a perfect on the plate assist.
Yeah.
Like it can't get better than that. Like honestly, even Vinicius had something similar. If you remember, like the brilliant combination with Camavinga and Benzema. Then Kama actually cuts it back to Vinicius, who completely
Yeah,
again misses the ball.
yeah.
Like we had enough chances to put Betis to the bed, man. Enough chances. It wasn't like Barcelona. That's why I'm a bit more calmer tonight, right? Like we created enough chances to send Betis packing, but for them, this is a very great result
I mean,
in their quest for top four.
every team that comes up against Madrid, if they're, I mean, if they can get a draw, then they're happy to go away. They walk away from the game just heads held high. We shouldn't be doing that. We're Real Madrid, man. We shouldn't be walking away from this game with our heads held high. We should be there for the 3 points. We're
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
away with
Like
just
you
one.
can like you like
It's
I'm actually refreshing Madrid Extra. Like we are gonna read out a few more comments of other players saying we had a good game.
yeah.
Like I'm ready. I'm bracing myself. So, like because last time I wasn't prepared enough and I had a fucking breakdown on the stream. But now I'm much more prepared for what
A
kind of propaganda.
meltdown. I'm telling you, my meltdown is just loading, which brings me to Ricardo Bingling's next comment. We really need to spend this summer because Vinicius and Benzema isn't enough. That was more evident last season. If we continue as how we're doing now, next season will definitely be worse. I mean, bro, I just can't agree more. The future looks bleak with just this attack. It's not a creative distribution problem anymore. I mean, we have
Like
midfield, we
some
have
people say,
options
yeah,
in the
though.
midfield.
Yeah, like some people, like even like when I was checking out Madrid Extra, so they were quoting some of the stuff which the La Liga analysts on La Liga TV were saying. They were saying, oh, Real Madrid has become very predictable. They don't have a right hand side. Last season, it wasn't the case because the league and opposition defenses wasn't actually familiar with Vinicius, Benzema, and the Fede
That's what I'm
trio and
saying. That's
whatnot.
what I'm saying. Exactly. It's become
But
a
I don't
one trick
agree,
pony.
I don't agree,
Oh,
like honestly, I don't agree. Like we have so many instances of one trick ponies in football, man. Like there's so many evidences. Like Arjen Robben was a one trick pony. Barcelona at its prime was a one trick pony. I'm telling you,
but the trick
a
just
one trick
couldn't
pony.
be, yeah, but it was so very well done that people didn't have answers to it. People did not have proper answers to it. When teams in La Liga who we should be so much better than, have answers to the challenges that we pose, then it's a problem.
I'm telling you, the
Then it's a
reason why they
problem.
have answers. I'm telling you, the reason why they have answers is because we play fucking tilted. That's it. It's because we play tilted.
It's
It's because we play. See, when I watch the team and I watch the body language of people like Winnie, people like Rodrigo, for example, tonight, who was agitated. Vinicius is the prime example. Like this is not an agenda against Winnie. Vinicius is our most primed asset, right? And arguably, he is a couple of tires above Benzema this season, and it's factual, right? Like he has
easy,
the most
easy,
goals,
easy.
most
Yeah.
goal contributions throughout the season. So if they can get into his head and make him behave like me losing like 3 or 4 back-to-back FIFA weekend league games, like it is peak. I'm telling you, it is like losing on FIFA. Vinicius behaves like he is on a 3-match losing streak. I'm telling you, you can't have that. You can't be at your optimal best if you're playing tilted, man. Honestly, you shouldn't be letting yourself get affected by all these shenanigans other teams pull, man. Honestly, they are going to try to rattle you, they are going to try to get at you, but what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to keep that to one part of your head. Yeah, you never forget. We should never forget. When do we remind them? We remind them in May, man. We don't remind them in the middle of the game. We remind them in May. So many doubters were on our necks last year as well. Barcelona was way off. Like right, like even then we had some very inconsistent performances. Got knocked out in the Copa del Rey. Um, some shocking results away at Espanyol, people were on to us. People were claiming, yes, Barcelona is finally reeking of a very, very bad season, but yet we can't capitalize. But what did we do? What did we do, Yadu? We rolled up our sleeves. Like what every other footballing team does, we rolled up our sleeves. We said, we do the talking on the pitch, man. We do the talking through our plays, through our results. Not immediately picking a fight with the ref, picking a fight with the opposition players. Like, see, that's the thing. See, for a manager, I'm telling you, this is not a Vinny agenda, Vinny propaganda. I love the kid, right? Just as much as Rodrigo. Rodrigo is my favorite, but Vinicius is not far lower. For a manager like Pellegrini to come on in the press conference pre-match and tell to the press, yo, see, like we don't want to intentionally hurt Vinicius. He doesn't have to say that. But this whole narrative surrounding the Vinicius thing, yes, he's the most fouled player in La Liga. Like that was his 80th foul or something I read during the game in the 80th minute or something. So he has received a lot of fouls and whatnot, man. But I've grown up watching great players get hacked down left, right, center in an era which wasn't this forgiving, in an era which didn't have VAR. I'm telling you, Yadu, these guys needs to fix up.
There's also, I mean, you can't put the problem on Vinny. You can't put
I'm
the
not
problem
telling.
on Vinny. There's just
I'm not
no
just
way.
blaming Vinny, but it's a culmination of all of that. But Vinicius, let's not get it twisted, is our only hope during games.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people forget that he is our sole savior. If we
There's
win
only
anything,
one creative player in the field. There's only one creative outlet. The only plan this season has been get the ball to Vinny, let him do something, and maybe we get a goal. Or give it to Benzema, who will finally give it to Vinny, and then Vinny does his magic, gets it inside the box, and then passes it back for Benzema to just cut through. Like that's the game plan. That's the
we don't
tactic.
see it enough because half of the time he's arguing, half of the time he's taunting ref. Oh yeah, do that, thumbs up. That's what he does. I don't want my players to be like that, man. Like honestly, each guy is different. Yes, each guy is different. I totally understand. But I don't want my players to be this reactionary, this reactive, this whiny. Why does he
Ah,
behave like Neymar? Why does he behave like Bruno? Why?
I think
Anyway, let's
every creative player just at least they get to that point when it happens
they
so
get to
much
that point, Yadu. I'm
that
telling
it
you,
gets
Vinicius.
angry. It will
Vinicius
happen. It
isn't.
will keep happening. It will keep
I'm
happening.
telling.
I mean, even as much as we know it will
I'm
happen.
telling you, Vinicius isn't prime Ronaldinho.
No,
Let's
no, no,
not
no,
get it
no.
twisted.
That's not the point. That's not the point at all. When opposition players see that okay, Vinicius is a player we can taunt, he will rise to these taunts and he will probably fuck it up. Then he will keep getting fouled. He will keep getting all of
So
these
what do you
taunts
do,
aimed
man?
at
What do
him.
you do? What do you do to bullies in school? I'm asking you. I was actually I think I brought this up in a previous episode. I'm pretty sure. But how did we deal with bullies? We all got bullied in some manner in school. What was the tactic? What was the tactic that we got to know through our mistakes and also was got told by our
Oh yeah,
teachers
yeah.
and
What
parents?
we get told is to just
Don't
back down and don't
don't give
rise
them
to the
attention.
taunts. Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't
But
give
then
them
it doesn't
attention.
happen in
Walk
real
away.
life, does it? It doesn't happen like that in real life. You have to
It
choose the
doesn't happen
fights.
like that maybe
You
once or
have to
twice.
choose the fights. Yeah, yeah. I mean, partly I do agree with you. I do think that he shouldn't rise to the taunts, yes. But then again, it's not completely a Vinicius issue. You will keep getting bullied. You will keep getting taunted. He has to pick his fights. I agree with you. But that doesn't mean that he has to back away from everything. That maybe it cuts away from
Oh,
his
right,
attacking
right,
game.
right,
Yeah, it
right, right,
does.
right. Let
It
him, let
does.
him, let him fight. Let him fight. Let him fight. We'll
A little
we'll
bit.
end up the season
Uh,
trophyless. I'm telling you. If he keeps doing this thing, we'll end up trophyless. I'm telling you because is kind of this is kind of a thing that runs through the team. If one guy is mourning, everybody is mourning. I'm telling you. I've had people send me clips of people like Isco doing similar things. Because let's not forget, just like Vinicius, maybe not at the intensity he gets fouled at, but Isco also was a player who drew a lot, I repeat, a lot many fouls during his 3-4 years. And I saw this clip of one instance where Isco is like constantly going in the ref. You know who comes in? Ramos comes in. Ramos comes in and tells him, let's do the talking on the pitch. Let's go first. Let's put these guys to bed, then laugh at their faces. Because that is more satisfying. That is the best revenge. Revenge is best served cold. I'm telling you, people like Benzema need to talk to him, and Benzema is not a great leader. I've mentioned this
Everybody
before
knows
as
it.
well.
Everybody knows it. When you don't have players who talk to your players and get them to do the stuff that has to be done, it just doesn't happen. Benzema's good in an attacking sense. Maybe he's good as just controlling the front three, but he doesn't talk to the whole team. Doesn't get the team fired up as much.
But people would come at you and tell you, "Oh, Liverpool, look what he did when we were 2-0 down." Yes, but that is the basics. That is the basics. He's wearing the armband. What is he supposed to do? Oh, you know what, guys? Let's go back inside. Let's ask the ref to forfeit the game. Is that what is that what he's supposed to do? No, he's supposed to actually motivate his fellow teammates. That's basics. That's almost like saying, "Oh, you know what? The postman delivered the mail, man. Like I'm gonna congratulate him. He is the best postman in the country." But in actuality, when do you call a postman the best postman in the country? When he goes above and beyond to make sure your parcel gets home on a fucking rainy night. That's when you call him the best postman in the country. Not when he does his usual rounds every fucking morning. But yeah, let's get to some more
let that
of
be a
these.
lesson to all the postmen, and we'll come back to this because I think
I'm
the
just trying to
chat
think
has
of
a
an
lot to
analogy.
say.
I'm so hot in the head. I can't even think of analogies at this point. But yeah, man, I'm fuming. Let's get to some of the comments. Dennis the Great, he said earlier, Lucas Vazquez is an idiot. Sell that guy in the summer. I mean, yeah, he's getting so much hate for his statements, like we played well and whatnot. You shouldn't be saying that, even if it is a way to shut up newspaper articles and whatnot. You should be a little more self-aware. He should have come out and said, you know what, we tried our best, but Betis were very solid, right? We didn't concede, so we didn't have a very bad night, but we should be putting away our chances. Just send that message. Simple as. Nobody's going to expect our players to come out and say, oh, you know what, we were shit. We have no hopes of the La Liga title anymore. That's not what the message should be.
Exactly. No. I mean, maybe his message was ill-placed, but the talk of getting him out of the team is just pointless at this point because what are our other options? Who would you play at RB?
Vazquez was actually from an attacking perspective was very, very good.
Exactly.
Like,
he was solid, and he didn't have a bad game. He shouldn't be getting this much fire for something that he
I think he had a bad game. Defensively, he was horrible. Very horrible. Defensively.
What do you expect from Lucas Vazquez? Do you expect Lucas Vazquez to be the best right back in the world? He's still a makeshift right back.
Yeah.
If you look at his game, this is the kind of performance that you expect Lucas Vazquez to give. Just considering Lucas Vazquez's performances, this is not a bad performance. No, he's not the best defensively. We know that. But that's not the point. This is a Lucas Vazquez performance if there ever has been one. And yeah, he's getting hate for the stuff in the press. True, and it may be deserved. Hey, I'm not going there. But yeah, getting him out of the team, way too much. Way too much.
Like, I don't know, like, so many people are going to call for so many of our players' heads, man. I'm telling you, it is coming because in 2 weeks we travel to Camp Nou.
It is.
And I think a lot of those comments has, let's say, solid backing or solid
the
base
comments
to
have
actually
some weight to it. Definitely. I mean, this is a concerning part of the season. let's not make it light. It's very concerning. It's scary and it's dangerous.
Mhm.
Let's not
Yeah.
downplay it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been telling everybody, like this tendency of us to actually, all of a sudden, put all our eggs into the Champions League basket is a very dangerous game, because the Champions League, just the way we did the impossible last season, other teams can do the same to us, because it is a knockout competition. It is finer margins than the league. Anything can happen. So
Let's
yeah,
not
man,
forget
we
that.
shouldn't.
No, let's not forget that the game is football. I mean, anything can happen in football. Just remember, we beat Liverpool comfortably, and Liverpool today just sent Man United packing. Man United sent Barcelona packing, and Barcelona keeps sending us packing. It might happen again this season. So football is a weird game. Just that is what it is.
It's
What
a
it is. It is
it is
what
a
it
weird
is.
game, Yadu. It's a weird game. But let me ask you something. When you see signs, right, it more than often comes true, right? Like if a team is not consistent enough, it gets to show in the subsequent games, right? Like it's not like a
Oh
team
yeah,
can
this
just
trend
flick a
has
switch.
been happening. Yeah, this trend has been happening. It's been coming. It's been
Like
coming.
I don't know like why people are in denial. Yes, you should have faith in your team. Obviously, they won us a double last season, but it doesn't mean that these guys are devoid of criticism, man. That's my only gripe. I
The
don't know
only thing
why
is
people are.
you expect Real Madrid to show up and deliver performances, and there's still that expectation whenever you go into a game. Whenever you watch Real Madrid play, you expect to see a couple of good goals. You expect to see some fancy footwork. You expect to see the fans backing them, and it will keep happening. So is life, such as football. Yeah. Let's go
Yeah,
through the
man.
comments a couple of times because I know that the chat has a lot to say, as did we.
Um, wait, before that, Yadu, there's like 30 odd of you in the chat. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel, because we have content coming in on a very consistent basis. Also, don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. It goes a long way, to help push the algorithm, basically. And also, we are available on all major audio platforms. We just amassed over 600 followers on Spotify, if I believe. So yeah, man, if you want to listen to us on the go, you have an option. Um, Quickly to the next comment that we didn't get to. Dennis the Great also said our keeper Thibaut saved us again today. Oh, you read that earlier. Sanele, nice to see you again, man. He says it's the same thing every game. Literally no progression from the team, and it seems like things are getting worse. I fear for the rest of the season, to be honest, because where are the goals coming from? Honestly, at this point, I don't see where the goals are coming from, because the main man is waiting outside the box. Benzema is outside the box.
He's
When
walking.
Carvajal is Benzema
He's
is
just
outside the box
walking.
when Carvajal is looking to cross. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. Like I've seen a lot of that even last season, but it was very, 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 very organic. Like in my opinion, at least. Like yes, Benzema was always a guy who would like to come deep, link up play, drift wide. Like he used to
No,
like to
he's the
get
perfect
more involved.
he's the perfect number nine. The only thing is that we saw a lot of progression from him. He is still the
His
perfect number
passing is
nine.
shit, man. I'm not gonna lie. His passing is
Yeah,
so
but
fucking
I think
terrible this
it's
season.
post injury that
Mm.
actually happened. Post injury, Benzema isn't looking as sharp as what he was before the injury. It's to be expected. He might slow down a little bit. Age might be catching up. It might still. I'm pretty sure he can
Something,
still pull it back.
yeah, yeah.
He is a confidence player, and that's not something that you want your captain to ideally be. You want your captain to be the opposite side. You don't want your
Yeah,
captain to be a confidence player. You want your captain to be as stable as a rock and
yeah.
able to pull out your team whenever they're in the mud, and that's just not
But
happening.
the thing
Yeah.
is, man, like his passing and like his involvements, like sometimes it baffles me, honestly, this season especially. Like you said, post injury, all this comes down to the very fact that we have options, right? Like we have some kind of an option in Alvaro. Like I know it's a huge ask, but why
Oh,
not throw him on for the first 45 minutes, Yadu? Why not throw him on for the first 40? I know it's a big, big call, but imagine if it works out. Imagine if it works out, how much plaudit Carlo would be getting. Like, it's a big risk. I know, like, away at Benito Villamarin to a team that is fourth or fifth in the league table isn't great. But could we have done it against a depleted Barcelona side on Thursday, or maybe Elche a couple of weeks ago? Right? Like, gave the kid a fair shot other than like just 6-7 minutes where he have basically nothing to feed on. I don't
There's
understand
also no. I mean, the problem is if you throw the kid into the deep end at this point in the season where we kind of are struggling and we are under a lot of fire from the media, then the media would turn on the kid, and it's not a good place to be in at this point in your career. You're just
I know,
starting
I know.
out.
I'm
It
telling
will
you, but
happen a lot. Okay, fair point. Fairer point would be to give him more than just 10 minutes. Let's say
mm.
put him on after
No,
60th
I was
minute.
being wishful. I was being wishful, maybe, but
It
like
just,
I
I
would
mean, I don't think any manager managing a
would do
team
that.
as Real
Yeah,
Madrid would do that, because we
yeah.
have better
I understand.
options, more capable, more
See,
mature players. Yeah.
I'm starving, bro. I'm starving.
You're
Right?
looking for
Like,
solutions where solutions aren't there, at least for
I
now.
haven't eaten in 2 days. I haven't eaten in 2 match days. Right? So I'm fucking starving. I need something. Right? I need something because the game is about goals, and we can't seem to hit a fucking barn door. I'm telling you.
At
Anyway,
this
let's
point, I
get
would
into some of
say
the comments.
let Vinicius cook, but he's been cooking and nothing's been happening. So let's move on to the comments instead.
Vinicius was never the greatest finisher. We can rely on him to create something out of nothing, but he's not gonna fetch you the 30 odd goals you need to win a trophy every season. I'm telling you. Um yeah. You hit a message, Yadu, bro. Don't hide it if it's something racist or
No,
something. Let people.
it's spam. It's just spam.
Oh, it's spam. Okay,
Yeah,
fair
it's
enough, fair
spam. It's
enough.
spam.
Right. Dennis the Great says Benzema has to be firing the team, man. He is not a Sergio Ramos influencing our players outside the pitch. Our fans have to admit this. They won't admit that, honestly. He is their poster child. He was my poster child. I used to fight against, I'm telling you, I'm not even joking, 30 odd Premier League fans, right? 30 odd Premier League fans, and me and a couple people supporting, even the Barcelona fans were actually backing Benzema when he was shit. So I have actually backed the guy for ages when he was accused of shit, which we all know, right? Then when he was having a very poor time, like especially in the Carlo Ancelotti era, where he was basically non-existent. Even for large parts until Zidane as well, where people were like holding up Suarez on the other end. Benzema didn't have a chance in the conversation, but yet I used to fight for him. Yet I used to tell these men he doesn't survive forwards like Higuain without reason,
Hmm.
because he's special. He's one of a kind,
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely. I mean, I don't think anybody is arguing against the potential or the absolute skill that Benzema has. I think Dennis is just saying that he's not a natural captain as Sergio Ramos was,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
that's a
was
fair
saying
point.
this. He's
It's that's
Yeah.
true. It's true. Benzema has never
He's
been.
basically agreeing to me.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he motivates the team on the pitch when things are down, but that is the least. I repeat, the least I expect of my captain, and that to a Real Madrid captain, man. He's not captaining Manchester United. Anyway,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
shots.
Ashik B
Yeah.
says, I got nothing today. We can blame refs for bad calls all we want, but it's not like we lit it up either. I mean, yeah, Ashik, I got nothing, man. I don't even have the energy. I don't have points to argue. It's just true. It's a dry as fuck game, and it's been shit and it's been coming. True. Dennis then says, Vinny gets rattled too easily. It annoys me. Dennis, you're preaching to the choir. Sunay just just finished saying the same thing. Ashik says, although we won the UCL and the league last season, the fact remains that post Marcelo, our left side has been carried by Vinny alone, whereas having a Marcelo provided something extra. True. Also, did you guys see? I think I linked it in the chat. There was a one interview with Marcelo where he was talking about his later stages in the team. he was one of
That
the
was the La
captains.
Liga special, the bicycle diaries or something.
Yeah,
right?
bicycle diary. So he was just talking about being one of the 4 captains of Real Madrid in his final season here, and how he basically tried to help the team through thick and thin. And yeah, I mean, we miss Marcelo. It's not a big surprise, is it? I mean, one of those key players being Marcelo for all those seasons, and his substitution or his replacement, in the sense Mendy has been injured and seems to be injury prone, and he doesn't
Ancelotti.
have as much output as Marcelo does. Please go on, Sunil. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yadu. Ancelotti, I'm a bit more happier than I was on Thursday. He's a little more self-aware.
What's he
He is
saying
reading
now?
the room. Like
What's
I think he has to read the room because he's under pressure. Because he said, it's not normal that we score 1 goal in the last 3 games. That too from a set piece.
Oh,
You know.
I
Yeah, he
forgot
said
that
that.
stat. I forgot that stat,
Yeah,
and I was
he said
happy
that.
until now.
He also said we should dribble less and focus on shooting. We
Oh
all know
wow,
who that is
wow.
aimed at. We know who that is aimed at, right? Like he didn't hold back. He just spoke what we were screaming watching the television for the last couple of hours. But yeah, man, let's get into. Did you read Alexander Ferguson's comment?
I did not.
Oh yeah,
No.
you did.
Did I?
You did,
Oh,
right?
sorry.
The Marcelo thing. I think
Oh
Madrid
yes,
should
I did.
sign.
I did. I did. Oh no, I
Right.
haven't. No. I read Ashik saying that we're missing Marcelo. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, let me get to Dennis the Great.
Oh, before that,
Yeah.
there's actually Isa Laporte posted in French. She just says, "Sorry, but Rudiger didn't touch the ball. Benzema's goal should have been validated." Isa, I don't know if you're a he, she, they. I kind of disagree. I think Rudiger did touch the ball, but then again, we see football differently. Benzema's goal should have stood. I mean,
Oh,
that's
that's
something
what
that I
she. Okay.
yeah,
Right.
Benzema's goal should have stood. That's basically the crux of the matter. I've seen that. I've
I don't
seen
think
that said
it
a
should have
lot.
stood.
I've seen that said a lot in the match thread on Reddit. I kind of disagree because I think, based on just the rules as such, it wouldn't stand. But
No,
yeah,
it
I
was
do
never going to
wish.
stand.
I wish it
Never going to
stood.
stand.
It just doesn't happen.
If it
Yeah.
was in the Champions League, nobody's going to even question because you know how more stricter, harsher the
Yeah.
handball rules are, enforced. But big up Isa, do get involved in the comments, and big up Yadu for actually translating the comment, because if not for Yadu, we wouldn't be, able to decipher what Isa was saying. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big up the quick, you know. Quick fix. Dennis the Great also says we have to start scoring more goals consistently. Even Cholo Simeone's team scored 6 yesterday. Yeah, against a very poor
What a
Sevilla side.
madness, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the goals. It was nice, but let's not get carried away. Atleti are shite this season. Even against them, we couldn't win the game. It required some Alvaro heroics. From a fucking 18-year-old. But
let
big
me
up all of you. Yeah.
give you a small another one of the comments from earlier. We are closer to Atleti than we are to Barca, which is a fucking disgrace. No, please go on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dennis the Great, right? Yeah. Yeah. No words, man. Honestly, like some things when you read it out loud, like you don't know what to actually react to that. I mean, it's pretty normal. He also said before the facts. I don't want none of my players moving like Bruno. Vinny has to start doing his talking on the pitch. He agrees with me. Desire OBG is in the chat. He says Visabasa. Yeah, man. I guess this is looking like your season. Honestly, at this point, it is something that I saw coming, like ever since the Villarreal loss. Like even the Rayo loss put some doubts in my mind, but the Villarreal result, like it truly struck it home that we look in deep trouble.
Yeah, man, it's good to see Barca fans in the comments. That means that we're doing something right. Always good to see. Always good to see rival fans just picking fights with us. Always nice. Yeah, leave a comment if you wandered here by accident, and leave a like, subscribe, and all of that. Thank you. All right, back to the
Ashik
matter at
says,
hand.
Yeah, Ashik says you don't normally find Madridistas in Barca's chat, but you find Culas in Madrid's chat. It's called obsession. Well. Shots fired. I guess Yashik, man, we don't have much voice tonight, man. Honestly, I wish we had a little more chest this end of the season, but unfortunately, our team doesn't help us out, man. I'm telling you, our team doesn't do us any
I'm just
favors.
hoping that the team walk away from ties like this, seeing it as a loss instead of
Mm,
seeing it as a draw. I mean, we shouldn't be drawing these
facts,
games at
facts, facts.
this late into the season when we're chasing Barca. It just shouldn't happen. It's just not normal. Yeah, man. Doris
Yep.
says, let's be honest, this isn't what the best team in Europe plays like. Our standards are shifting. We are the Barca of last season. Oh God, I hope not. That's all I
See,
just.
like
Hmm.
who was bringing that up? I think someone. I think
Doris,
Javier, or
yeah.
was it? No. On the in the last post match, I think Javier brought the fact up that I have been reading stats where like a similar stage last year, Barca was at a much worse position, but we were kind of like 1 or 2 points off of where we are currently. And I guess that is what makes us win La Liga. We have to depend on Barca choking hard for us to
Hmm.
actually clinch it. So now in retrospection, last year wasn't so good, but I was having the time of my life. So now it
It's
it looks like a fever dream, which which I believed was a very um, exciting, gradual progression of our team, of our squad.
it's
But it doesn't look
also
the case.
I mean, La Liga is a case of, I mean, every league in the world is a case of consistency and not being complacent, which is what we're finding difficult to do. Our team is being complacent left,
Why
right, and
why doesn't
center.
our team feel the heat, man? Why doesn't our team feel the heat? Like, do you think the fans are not putting enough pressure on these players?
Oh, no, 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 no,
Because
no.
I for one am, you know.
No, 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 no. There's always pressure. Pressure is part and parcel of playing in Real Madrid. The only thing that I can think of, or at least the only thing that human psyche says, is that you can't have teams continuously winning everything all the time. Uh, it's a
I get
matter
it.
of
There is
complacency. It's a matter of complacency, which makes the Triple Champions League even more madder from what I see. But last year we won La Liga because we didn't have too much competition. Everybody was in the mud, us included, but we were the better of the people in the mud. And the Champions League story is just a thing for legends. I don't know what happened. We were able to pull out magic from the bag at all times. Maybe that's made this group complacent, that the feeling that you've already won it all from even at this age. It's kind of
yeah.
mad. Yeah.
I completely agree. Last year's Champions League run was a flash in the pan, and everybody watching knew it. Like if like I don't think we can really replicate what we did last season.
Oh
It'll
no,
be it'll be a very
the same run, just nobody in the history of the world is ever doing the same run again. That's just not
mm,
happening.
it's a tall order. But Ancelotti said something interesting. He said we are good in defense, which I don't know. Some match days I feel like we get away with stuff, but tonight we looked kind of okay, I guess. But he says, but there is no balance in this team because the attack is not working. And Carlo and Davide, if you guys are listening, you you know this very problem since the last 2 months. Ever since post World Cup, we have had these kind of games where, like even against Osasuna, I remember, like we scored in the dying embers. Like it almost is a case of what, like let's kind of drift around in the first half. Second half we ramp it up, and like the last 15 minutes we go all out. But how many times does it work? How many times can we actually get away with this, right? Like it's not often, right? Like we are actually feeling the effects of actually not starting games well. If you remember, Yadu, the second half started with a shot on target for Betis where
Yep.
Thibaut had to make a brilliant save.
Yep.
and,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
Betis had their fair share of chances when like Vazquez was bet and Borja Iglesias had a shot.
Borja Iglesias seemed an actual real threat and scary almost.
And he's an animal. He's an animal. Let's not get it twisted. Even IOC Perez, who was a Leicester reject, he was balling out in the first half. You know, I don't understand, man. I honestly don't understand. Like some games we look so clueless even when we are playing good. I'm telling you, like, is this a matter of a team having a consistent style that is kind of hindering us, which Farouk goes on. And I used to laugh at Farouk and tell him, you know what, we are Real Madrid. We don't care about the way we play. We care about winning. But games like tonight, games like the game against Sociedad, games like on Thursday, if we had a very consistent, clear game plan, we would be winning those matches. Now there is shit in my face. Farouk is the one laughing in his bed. I don't understand.
There's
I
also,
don't
I mean,
understand, bro.
let's not take anything away from Pellegrini, who's actually a really good tactician. He played the game. There were stretches of the game where I felt that we were playing into their hands instead of sticking to our game plan.
It is a very recurring theme, right? Like
There was a
we
lot
feel
happening. Yeah.
we feel it almost every other week, like post the World Cup, right? Like Yadu, like we almost
Yeah, there's
always have that
been
feeling.
exactly. We're not playing to our strengths. We're just playing to the other team setting the tempo, which has been happening more and more lately. It's kind of mad. It's kind of mad. There's also something that I noted. Yes, we did have. I mean, we changed our defense like halfway through the match. We had six players in defense. We changed out both our fullbacks, and
Hal
that's
was really good when he
exactly,
came on.
and that's what actually kind of twisted the game away from them and made us play a little bit better.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, the left back, right back problem is
But I'm
just
telling you,
just
like even with
crazy.
Danny Carvajal, um, I don't know, man. Like teams positioning, it's not right. There's something wrong. Like I can't like pinpoint cherry pick instances, but I remember very clearly one instance where it was kind of after a set piece, if I am not mistaken. Carvajal was in the middle of the pitch, and he was trying to win a duel in midfield.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Carlo
Yeah.
is going berserk like on the touchline. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?
That's
Come back and provide an outlet on the right."
yeah. That's also the thing that I mean. That was I think that was after he combined with Rodrigo on the right to provide to go into attack, and Fede Valverde had to run the whole length of the pitch to cover. Because it's Fede, you don't feel it as much. But if it was literally anybody else,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's an
would
option.
require they would require breathing assistance, and I'm not
Oh
joking.
yeah, definitely,
You know?
definitely. This team on its last legs, definitely, yeah.
Well, yeah, Ancelotti says 9 points are many. We have to think what to do, but La Liga is not over. We have to improve. Um, I'm happy that he is actually still keeping faith, but let's not fool ourselves. You know, like La Liga is a long time away. Like I don't think we can rely on Barca dropping points, because I saw the game against Valencia. I'm telling you, if we played like that against Valencia this season, I'm talking about this season, yeah, this season in isolation. If we played like Barca tonight against Valencia, we would be losing the game. But Barca saw the game out. They lost their best defender, and along with Militao, I keep saying this, one of the best defenders in Europe, who got sent off on a very silly red card.
Mhm.
In came Eric Garcia and Marcus Alonso. I'm telling you, one of the most shittiest centre backs to ever play the game. Right?
This is
M-
I
Marcus
mean,
Alonso is
from
a wing
from
back by trade.
yeah,
Xavi's
from the
system
games
allows them
that
to.
there's a bit, yeah. I mean, that's actually true, and that was the point that I was trying to bring up. This is their current season, and their campaign in La Liga is very reminiscent of Zidane's last season. They're just trying, adapting, just clicking together whatever they can to eke out a win. Just see it out until the last moment. Just keep trying, and I don't know. It just reminds me of Zidane's last season when he knew that he had to make covers, he had to do the extra stuff, he had to bring players in.
Oh.
to do
See,
what
this
he
is the
had to
thing.
do. Yeah.
So I don't know, like Carlo earlier. Remember when I told you, Carlo earlier said, yeah, we have a problem in attack, and then he
Mm.
says we also scored 5 goals at Anfield. We can't forget the fact that Liverpool side was fielding Joe Gomez,
And
right?
they also did put two past us. I mean, let's not overlook that. It's
That
only
Liverpool
the
defense
turnaround.
was weak. It
The
was
turnaround
weak, man.
happened afterwards. The turnaround
Yeah,
happened after we let in two goals. I mean, let's not get it twisted, you know. Yeah.
yeah. Like there is tweets about Hazard. I don't know why people are looking at Hazard.
Yeah, no, that's a closed book. I mean, there's nothing to gain from looking into.
This is the stat. This is the stat we need. Without counting penalties, Real Madrid have only scored 10 league goals in 10 games after the World Cup. That is incredible. Like if we remember, Benzema
Wow.
bailed us out with a few penalties in games where we had no hope of winning the game. And
Yeah.
even then, I was screaming out how we look so dire in
Mm.
actually putting the final ball or putting the final shot into action. Yeah, man. So yeah, 3 Asensio, 2 Benzema, a goal each from Modric, Cruz, Vinicius, Valverde, and Alvaro Rodriguez is
Mm.
shocking for a team that is aspiring to win multiple titles. A team as big as us. If this was Wolves, right? If this was
Mm.
Southampton, if this was Girona, if this was Getafe, I would understand. But we are a
Yeah,
different kettle of fish.
this is a team that's fighting for their Champions League spot. You can't show up to games like this, you know.
And expect the other team to roll over. I'm telling you. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. I'm telling you. I read this thing in the match thread. I think during halftime or something. Someone was saying, um, Benzema is the embodiment of L1 plus X. If people who haven't played FIFA much, L1 plus X is basically the command. L1 is basically the command to control the ball. It is to perfect the first touch, and X is passing, right? When you combine L1 plus X, it is basically calling a player out of position to either make a run forward or be available for a pass. That's what was Benzema doing for large parts of the game. L1X, 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 again and again and again. Like I don't understand like why he is so devoid of confidence, man. Like it wasn't the case even before the World Cup. Even he had a couple of knocks even before the World Cup. If we remember,
Yeah.
he looked much brighter.
We aren't taking the chances that are easily provided to us. It's just it's been a trend, and it's been a very surprising and pretty depressing trend.
I'm
Uh,
honestly tired, man. Tas Saliba says it's today crazy enough. Last time I made a comment was genuinely to one of the panel. He cursed me every time he loses his mind. I have a question. Let's say we change. Tas Saliba, the comment was aimed at Doris, right? So like you can comment at all of us. It's fine. We are boys, right? But we shouldn't be saying such weird stuff at a female panelist, right? Like we should kind of keep the decorum. We are all grown ups, right? So yes, I gave you an ultimatum, which I think was in the best interest of all of us, right? Like we have nothing against you, Tas Saliba. You are a very valued uh, contributor to our project, our dream project, right? Like, let's not get it twisted. You guys, when you guys engage with us, is what makes this a great show. If this was just me and Yadus talking with each other, there wouldn't be any sort of debate or constructive criticism or any sort of analysis or anything. So, Tas Aliba, you are very much welcome to be here as long as you keep the decorum and keep some sort of basic decency. He also says, I have a question. Let's say we change with Raul. He's not a guy who has seen a lot of tactical questions, guest here. Zidane is a person who root over Ancelotti. I didn't quite understand that bit, but yeah, man, Raul is a good shout. I'm not so sure how quickly his integration into the first team plans would be. I would love to see it. Like he was a
I think it
huge
will happen. You
inspiration.
know, I think it will
Yeah,
happen.
I hope it happens. I
It
hope it
happens
happens.
down the line, probably. probably. There's also the fact that, I mean, we can't put all of the blame on Carlo, even though at the end of the day it will be, because Carlo has been asking for more players and the board hasn't been delivering. I mean, we know how overpriced players are, especially attacking players are. Um, yeah, I guess
Let's
what I want to say is all
the
of the
thing
blame
is,
isn't on Carlo, but yes, he
all of the
has to hold
blame,
smoke. Yeah, he has to
all
hold
of the
some of the smoke. Yes.
all of the blame isn't on Carlo. I completely agree. But it's up to him and his son and the rest of the coaching staff to actually look into why we look so lethargic, why we have no urgency in attack,
Mm.
why
Yeah.
Benzema is actually walking, taking multiple touches. It never
Yeah.
used to be the case. It used to be very, very quick, short passing.
Yep. I want to see our touch map inside the box for all of our players combined because it will be a madness. You'll only see points like throughout every.
Yeah. It would be very few and
Oh,
far between,
yeah.
It wouldn't be.
So many touches, no attempts. It's just crazy.
I needed to ask you something, Yadu, because honestly, it has been on my mind for a few days.
Hmm.
Cruz, do you think he stays past this season?
No, definitely not. He doesn't look like he will. He doesn't look like he will. Yeah, he looks like he'll retire at the end of the season. He's one of those players who can make a difference, who can switch it on in select games. It doesn't happen in every game. It doesn't happen when he plays 90 minutes or 120 minutes throughout from beginning till the end. Maybe it's a
Why
tactical
did
issue. Maybe it's a tactical issue. Maybe it's just an age issue. Maybe it's the pace catching up with him. He's a genius. Let's not. I mean, that's not under discussion here. He is an absolute genius, but I think he'll hang up his boots at the end of the season, and and I will be accepting of it because the time's here. Yeah,
you think he
he
looks like
knows.
he's
He
out the
knows.
door?
He knows.
Mm,
He knows.
mm.
And that's what he's alluded to even before. He has a podcast with his brother Felix.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in
yeah.
German, and he's alluded a couple of times that when he feels like he is done, he's giving up. He's not pushing to. He's not going to Japan. He's not going to Saudi. And he'll probably give up. He'll probably hang up his
I
boots
don't care
in
where
Real
he goes,
Madrid.
if he goes or not. Like I don't mind about that. Like I'm just wondering, like even if he wants to stay at this point, do you think the club is gonna give him a new contract?
I think we will. If he wants to stay, I think Real Madrid will give him another contract, but just for 1 year, and that will be it. Because Cruz's asking fees, the cost of keeping him around is considerably lesser than the experience, than everything that he can bring to the team.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
There's
He's
definitely a
still
lot of value there. We're
he's
not
still a very
losing him.
valuable asset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not losing him over just pennies. That's just not happening.
No. It's not about money. I'm just asking you: is
Mhm.
he a worthy addition to the squad in March 2023? That's my question. Because for large parts of the game, I thought Kroos wasn't doing anything special.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it from today's game's point of view, or for the past month, I guess. Yeah, he's been slower than usual.
Why doesn't Ceballos all of a sudden get no look from the coaching staff? Like, why is he not in the picture anymore? Yes, like when I see him more consistently, I keep getting reminded of my own words where, like a few people on the panel were calling on for Ceballos to start last year, and he balled out against Espanyol, and I reminded them, oh, you know what, this is Ceballos' level, you know
Yeah.
a team like Espanyol.
I think Javier has said it. Like, I think he put it perfectly. Ceballos is one of those players who you play against select oppositions in
Mm,
select matches, but you can't rely
mm.
on him for the big ones for all of the bigger stage
If
games.
you remember, after putting a man of the match performance against Villarreal in the Copa del Rey quarterfinal,
Oh yeah.
not quarterfinal, a round of 16 or something. There were so many calls for him to get renewed, right? Like there were so many constant reports, oh, he should get renewed, like he's definitely the future, he's gonna stay, blah blah blah. Now all of a sudden, what we hear is his contract talks are on hold. All of a sudden, like the narrative has completely twisted, but we don't get like the same amount of pressure being put on the veterans. Like I get it, like we have, like they have more credit in the bank and whatnot, but surely these elder statesmen, they need to get much more flack, right?
I think the problem is that we expect that our veterans will probably retire
Turn up sooner or later,
and
or
they end
retire.
at the end of the season, or maximum for a couple of more seasons.
So what is the club thinking? So for a couple more years, we're gonna deal with this mediocrity?
No,
Because I'm not.
we're gonna keep them. We're gonna keep them, and but we don't start them. We just play them in games where they can make an impact. And yeah, I mean, I do think that they will show up sooner than later. Yeah. Let me
They
just
better show up.
let me just
Go
run
on.
a couple of polls. I'm just asking, is our La Liga campaign over? Because we have 22 people in the chat, and I mean, we have
Yeah,
22
go
people
ahead.
watching
Go ahead.
us.
It
And
is not a question.
I just want to know what the general public is thinking.
Yeah, the general consensus is surely interesting, because a lot of people still believe that we can do it. But yeah, man, like I considered the league a good 3-4 weeks ago, and people called me out. People called me a fake fan. People called me a plastic. People were going by the notion, oh, we don't want part-time supporters, and these guys wouldn't be even 10 or 12 years old. I'm telling you, it's a fucking joke, because I've been supporting this club for over 12, 13 years now, right? I've seen the worst Real Madrid side probably, like in the last 10, 15 years. Like obviously I haven't seen Gravison, but I started watching, like I have said many times earlier, during a period where Barcelona were so dominant that we had no hope of winning something major, right? And frankly speaking, these last 3-4 months is kind of reminding me of that phase, especially in the league, where we look clueless. Honestly, at least back then, Mourinho's side was so free flowing, so full of goals. We actually looked rampant in the league. La Liga La Liga has a different face now. It's a different landscape. I get it. I totally understand that. I don't want my team to be winning 5-0, 6-0, but man can't expect a goal, half a chance. A goal gets given, and then you look at it, it's Rudiger. Surprise, surprise. Again, the villain is Rudiger. I'm not bashing on him. Like I'm not getting on his neck. But you just see how the season is going. Like if he just tucks his hand a little more inside, it probably doesn't get called off.
Yeah. It's a game of small margins, especially today, because
I'm
we
tired of
feel the
small margins,
frustration.
Yadu.
We
I'm
see the
tired of small
frustration.
margins, Yadu. I'm
That's
tired
the
of small
problem.
margins,
That's
Yadu.
the problem. It's just not happening. We're not taking the clear chances that are afforded to us. And at the end of the day, we have nothing to back. And that's the point today. It's just that depressing.
At this point, I'm telling you, people like Aribas needs to get a chance. They
Oh,
need
that's
to get a
actually true.
chance.
That's actually true.
What are we doing with all these guys, man? Like they're not getting us anywhere. I'm telling you, they're not getting us anywhere. The only man I have some hope left in is Rodrigo to do something. Even he kind of let me down with that miss. Yes, it was a tough ball to control and whatnot, but he looks like the only man capable of doing something. Either it's on the right wing, or maybe playing as a false nine behind Benzema. Because Vinicius is busy, caught up in doing whatever the fuck he is doing for the last like few weeks. Um, he wasn't like this. I'm telling you, last year's Vinicius was so much more composed. So much more composed. Anyway, I don't want to make this a Vinicius, rant thing. But yeah, man, a couple of good performances that I would like to recall. Militao, as usual, solid. The man is a machine. If not for Militao.
I mean, there was a couple of tweets that went out when Carlo Ancelotti kind of said that he's the best centre back in the world. a lot of people were not agreeing. I mean, they should have watched the game today. He was actually mad solid.
He is a man mountain.
He's
I
a man on a
repeat,
mission. He's a man on a mission.
he gives me the vibes of Rafael Varane. And Varane had the luxury of playing beside one of the GOATs in Sergio Ramos, which Militao doesn't have, right? Militao plays beside either Nacho or Alaba or Rudiger, who are clearly not on his level. Let's not kid ourselves. Militao is the best defender in the team. So if he has a bad game, our whole defense has a bad game. So he usually can't have a subpar performance. Can you imagine that? A man who is like 23, he can't have a subpar performance. Who is he? Maldini? Is he Baresi? Is he Beckenbauer? I don't know. Because this is too much of an ask. I'm telling you, even last year, in the moment, we laud everyone. We laud Carlo. I shun Farouk. I ask him, respect the man. He bought us glory. He took a team from nothing to winning 2 major titles at the end of the season. I back all of these guys up. But what comes out the other end, it's almost a case of Russian fucking roulette, where a couple of players, or maybe like 3 players, 2 players, take turns in becoming the match winner.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, what happens? Games like tonight happens.
Oh, that's definitely the case. I mean, there's no question that. I mean, I think it is Farooq who said it's a team that's made of magical moments happening. There's individual brilliance that comes out into play. It's not a completely team thing, and we don't expect it from Real Madrid. I think we should expect it from Real Madrid. At this point, you know that your creative outlet is basically being forced under, being fouled 10 times in a match. Where are the other answers? There are no other answers.
Yeah.
It's pretty shit. It's pretty shit. Sorry, Chad, if we are being depressing. It's just reality. It's quite shit.
Yeah, that's the theme of the story, for the past few weeks. The reality is shit,
also, There's also the thing that our poll is currently running. Is our La Liga campaign over? 80% of people say no, we keep fighting, and 20% say yeah, man, it's over. I like your optimism.
Anyway.
I like your optimism, but I'm just cautious.
Saliba is going off in the comments. Let me just get a few of them. He says, "Is Sunaid crazy enough?" Oh, that's done. I genuinely thought. Okay, right. I'm not gonna read that out. It may be a different culture, but I'm telling you, it doesn't look good, bro. Like I'm telling you because she doesn't find it. She doesn't find it.
Move on. I think Saliba said, Vinny must learn how to play on the right flank. Escape Araujo if it's a must. Bale and Ronaldo always changed flanks. It wasn't really easy for them. I mean, hey, there's the quality of the players involved. Saliba, do you believe that Vinicius at the state right now can hold a candle to prime Bale and prime Ronaldo? He has a long way to go. There's a lot of development to be made. First off, in his skills, and second, in his attitude, as we keep saying. These are players who've been fouled much more times, and if he
amount of injuries Bale got in the span of maybe a year, I don't think Vinicius has gotten any of that.
If he we hope not. But anyway,
I'm just telling you. Like, imagine how frustrated a man like Bale would be, right?
There's okay. The second part of what I wanted to say is if Vinny wants to fill out the shoes of the heroes that he had playing in the same position, then there's a lot that he has to go through. There's a lot of personal growth that has to happen, and here's fingers crossed that happens soon. He's already a superstar in this team. There's no denying it. At this young age, he's already thrust into the mantle of carrying Real Madrid's most creative deficit
duties
in a long time. So he is hoping that he steps up and he delivers.
Next week, Espanyol at home, right? On a good season, what do we say? 3 points, right?
Easy.
Yeah. But tonight, What are you going to say?
Tonight it should have been easy, and it's just fucking not, isn't it?
No. Like after this game, see, we're on the post match, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
sitting here
exactly.
now, watching that shit, like, what would you call the Espanyol game to be?
I'm cautious.
It wouldn't.
It's not an easy outing, is it? It's not an easy outing anymore. La Liga isn't an easy outing with this team, with the level of performance that they're putting in. It's just something that we have to deal with. And we will keep clenching until the last moment because that's the quality that we've been dealing with. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park.
What is Saliba saying? He's saying Achedo is the problem, but let's be honest, he is hold as the same statue, which means
as
what?
to Bale or Ronaldo, I think that Vinny has the skills to grow into Bale or Ronaldo. I mean, sure, I hope so. I definitely hope so.
He
Tasaliba
also
also
asks,
asks, "Are you Ancelotti out or in?" I think
I'm in.
Ancelotti will be out at the end of the season. I mean, I have to be completely honest with you. End of the season, I think.
So are you
Carlos getting
Ancelotti
replaced.
out? Yeah.
I am. Yes.
Fuck. Okay.
I am. Yes. We need a refreshment. We do need a refreshment.
It's peak, guys. It's peak. If one of the more optimistic guys on the panel, if he is Ancelotti out, it's peak. Yeah, I'm speechless, honestly.
No,
'Cause,
there's two things to it. I mean, I feel like we need a refreshment. We will see a lot of changes at the end of the season. It's basic Carlo seasons, Carlo comes in, wins a couple of things, then Carlo doesn't win anything. He gets replaced by the next best thing that the board decides. It will happen. It will happen at the end of the season. I see it coming.
Who would you want?
Oh, don't ask me for replacement, man. It's hard. It's tough.
I want Zidane back, man, if possible. Because that is the only bald head I believe in. Because after watching Ten Hag, earlier,
Ten Hag balled out until today, and yeah.
He literally
Anyway.
balled it out tonight,
Exactly.
You don't lose fucking 7-0, man. You don't lose 7-0. But yeah, man, only like I honestly believe if it is the end of the road for Carlo, come May, Zidane can do the trick again because he knows the club inside out. He has the aura to actually command respect and just basically, just like Carlo, without much tactics, win us a couple of Champions League titles. You never know. Or maybe Raul, but Raul in this situation, I'm not so sure. I love the man. He was one of my idols growing up. I don't think he can actually survive in this atmosphere.
Too much
it'll be
pressure with
difficult.
this team. There has to be a lot of news. I don't know, players.
He'll have to actually rebuild the squad. It'll be difficult.
It will be another. It will be another transition season. It's coming. It's coming. There is an old guard who have achieved everything, but who will
even last year.
Replacing.
Let's be honest. Even last year was a transitional season, right? Like Alaba coming in and whatnot. Kamavinga.
2020 more. 2020 more than 2021 or 2020. But yeah.
Saliba says not Raul, not Xabi Alonso. We think that Ancelotti is a good manager. No tactics. They haven't learned any tactics. No experience. I mean, you can't say that about Carlo. Carlo has
been so long in the game that he actually has students of his own. He's written theses about tactics.
Yeah. Carlo is a very rigid tactician. Let's not forget, Carlo is an advocate and also a student of Calcio. If you don't know what Calcio is basically the way Italian football is played out. He is a huge fan of the Arrigo Sacchi philosophies and whatnot. So he is very hell bent on playing a few very rigid formations. I mean, that's why we almost always predict Carlo to go with a 4-3-3 or at the worst a 4-2-3-1. Like there is not much variety in his setup. Maybe a couple of roles get inverted or reversed, but that's about it. We can never doubt his credentials tactically. Carlo
There's
is a very, very good
also
manager.
there's also the fact that he keeps his particular core of players so that he can play that one particular
Yeah.
formation or style,
Mm,
which has deficits of its own, especially in the
mm.
modern game when there's seasons as long as this one. This one especially has been grueling, and but it's once in 4 5 years.
The post World Cup, I mean the World Cup thing, like I've always said, like it is gonna take a toll on us, especially with our reliance on veterans. Like, yeah, we do have a few very promising young talents, but let's not get it twisted. Our backbone is made up of veterans, right? Like who are probably actually facing the after effects of like just like you said, a very grueling season.
Mm.
It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. I hope like at least in the Champions League we can keep some kind of magic happening, because without that, I honestly don't look forward to the rest of the season, man. Honestly, like if we can end it now, end it. Because I don't find any joy in watching these mind-numbing games, man. Honestly, especially in La Liga, it's a fucking chore to watch. The commentary also doesn't help. Telling you, ESPN fire
Oh, you
Rob,
need
Stuart
to.
Robe, and all that fucking shit, man. Like Derek Ray.
Oh, no, no, no!
God,
Watch the Spanish commentary, man. It's just levels above. Watch the Spanish commentary if
I
you
don't
can.
understand Spanish much, right? So
Oh, that's good.
you see,
Oh no, that's actually good. You learn more Spanish that way. It's quite nice.
fair enough, fair enough. That's a good
It's quite
suggestion. I'll
relaxing.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll look into it. But yeah, man. Around 30 odd of you in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, turn on the notification bell on so that like you guys know when we schedule a live. Yeah, man. Yadu, any final thoughts?
Mm, just depressing stuff, really. Stuff to think
Mm.
about now. Now when I go to sleep.
Anything positive we can take from tonight?
Uh oh, a lot. Yeah, a couple of things. A couple of things. The substitutions, the time, and when it happened, and the impact that the subs brought on.
Was
Can't
nice.
can't underrate it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any output, which is
Mm-hmm.
a problem with the attack. But the subs themselves, I think they did a good job. Carvajal, very, very well done. I think
Mm-hmm.
a fit and active Carvajal, reminiscent of prime Carvajal,
He's actually
still
fit.
the best. Still the
It's just
best.
the thing that he can't sustain that stamina for long enough. That's why when
He
we see
has to
him
be
in
rested. He has to be rested.
yeah yeah
We've reached that point in Carvajal's career where he has to be rested now.
mm.
Nacho, I mean, just
Nacho
good
was good.
things, just good things to say about Nacho. Chouameni,
Apart
I did.
from maybe the shot tug he had on Enrique, who is a very dangerous player. Like if you remember, like just outside the box.
Yeah,
That's so uncharacteristic of Nacho. Like,
dangerous.
imagine what this team is doing to a guy like Nacho who
Yeah,
doesn't have those kind of moments of madness.
yeah. It's it's
Anyway.
characteristic of the game. It's characteristic of
Mm,
what the performance today was.
mm,
Chouameni, on the other hand, I mean, nothing to point out. We didn't see too much distribution from him, which kind of, I don't know, which I think I expected of him. Kamavinga
yeah.
as left back, a makeshift solution, but you know what? It worked until Nacho came in. So
Mm.
can't complain. Can't really compliment either.
Or the other major thing I wanted to like I completely forgot. Kamavinga didn't get any sort of combination from Vinny. He always was trying to take the matter into his own hands, dribble past three people, and
Mhm.
like I've written down, Rui Bal and Sabali dominated Vinny. Yes, like couple of times Vinny kind of like spun Sabali inside out, but they were very formidable for large parts in shutting down our left hand side.
Mhm.
It's it's a joke, man. Honestly, it's a joke. It's a joke.
I think that's what somebody else in the chat was saying earlier. We miss a player like Marcelo. We do miss a very creative left back who can take up attacking positions. That's true. I mean, we don't have solutions right now. It is a makeshift left back, and Kamavinga's not playing in his own position. That explains all the misfires that we've had, And it's a game of many cards, which we won't get into. It's a game of many fouls, which again we won't get into. It was also a game of a lot of arguments, a lot of frustration with the ref, with the fourth official, and with the VAR. It goes to show you it's one of those frustrating nights of La Liga that is better
Nothing.
sooner forgotten.
Yeah, nothing went our way. But I guess I'm done, man. Honestly, I'm done. Not looking forward to Espanyol. On paper, it looks like a winnable game. But right after Espanyol, we have Liverpool, I guess, right? The next Wednesday. So it is looking peak. I thought we could build some momentum and whatnot, but it didn't go to plan. Espanyol is another chance at redemption to build some momentum. If Espanyol is also a bad game, I don't know how Liverpool is gonna be like.
Let's
Yeah.
look at the next 5 games. On 11th of March, it's Real Madrid versus Espanyol. On 15th, it's Real Madrid versus Liverpool. On 19th, it's Barca versus Real Madrid.
No.
That's till the end of the month. So,
and then the international break kicks in, and then we have a Clásico, or like for the second leg.
Yeah, Copa del Rey. So that's
April first week as well.
Yeah, true.
So it is make or break. I'm telling you, a lot of people's careers are on the line. I'm telling you, a lot of people's careers are on the line.
As it should be.
We might never see Modric and Kroos past May if we have a horrible season. Telling you,
Modric still.
The club wouldn't be the club wouldn't be happy cutting ties, but the situation would force the board to do so. And I don't want that to happen. These guys have given us everything. They have given us so much glory, so many great moments that other teams can only dream of, right?
For them to go, literal legends of the game.
Little legends of the game.
Right? Here's the thing, right? It's a pragmatic board. Real Madrid has always been a pragmatic team. If it's not practical, if the solution is not practical, if it's not future worthy, then we won't stick to it. It's the
I'm not so sure, to free up wages and free up a spot. Like, let's not kid ourselves, Kroos, Modric, they take up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They take up.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. As it is a pragmatic board, we will get rid of people. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I was thinking you were having.
Oh no, it's not emotional.
A different sentiment.
It's not emotional at all. The board will get rid of people. They won't look at the past. They won't look at.
I don't want that to happen, man. Like, I want my legends to actually walk away into the sunset, just like Casemiro did. I was saying the same thing last week. Like, I don't want a different scenario. Like, I've seen the Casillas departure. The way Cristiano. He left on a high, but it still left a sour taste. Like, I'm telling you, like, I don't want Kroos and Modric to undergo the same treatment. It's when it's peak.
Or sit on the bench for too long.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Much love to all of you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a mad couple of weeks. Ever since the Liverpool game, it has been kind of very, very downhill, which I honestly never thought coming. Liverpool was supposed to be a ramp that we used to kind of catapult our season into the next phase, but unfortunately we don't look like we took enough advantage in taking enough metal from such a very morale lifting performance. But as always, friendly reminder, we are available on all audio platforms. If you want to listen to us on the go, feel free to do so. Also, tell a friend to tell a friend, spread the word. We are on the road to 1K. We are hoping to actually achieve this before the end of the season. Yeah, man, big up all of you who actually engages in the chat. I would request all of the others to actually do the same as well, because that makes this a two-way conversation. If you guys don't engage with us, it kind of makes it a little stale, not gonna lie. It is your comments, it is your feedback, it is this two-way street that makes us want to keep doing this, even on nights like this, with where I would have been better crying into the pillow. But I'm here. I'm here. Facing the heat, breaking this down on a night which I could have used the time better. But yeah, man, until next time, watch out for the preview. It'll be hopefully around Wednesday or Thursday, the latest. So watch out for that. Much love for all the love, man. And yeah, until next time, Ala Madrid.
Ala Madrid. Subscribe, guys. Bye bye.